Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Scott. Beautiful Wednesday, hump day for you. I say beautiful, I'm being very sarcastic. Kids are off school again today, another snow day for my children. So today's topic is going to be about planning out your day, mapping out your day, and it's near impossible to do when the kids don't have school. Changes things drastically. But we'll get to that anyway today. Happy Wednesday. We are now through, we're kind of shifting gears now, in my opinion. We've gone through a lot of personal stuff, a lot of health stuff, both mentally, physically, emotionally, with some meditation and whatnot. We did some planning of the day the night before, because again, best part of a morning routine is the nighttime routine. So we did some planning of the day the night before, but then we kind of get into taking care of ourselves. Some of the stuff we did at night was take care of yourselves, wake up in the morning. Again, our focus has been a lot on meditation, journaling, nutrition, working out, some sort of exercise, some sort of movement, something, all to take care of, again, our physical, emotional, mental parts of ourselves. There was the put your oxygen mask on before helping someone else in the airplane portion of our morning routine series. We're kind of shifting gears now. So again, for me, this shift happens a little later in the day at this point. When it happens for you, because again, different offices, different ways of working, different times of going to work, everything's different, right? So for me, once I finish up the workout portion, I typically come and do this for you, but then I go inside and worry about my nutrition. I've already got my supplements out of the way. They were kind of out of order as far as how I spelled them out here in the show. Once I go inside and do my breakfast, take care of my nutrition for the day, it's kind of family time. So I forget about my morning routine for a little while. I take care of the kids. There's nothing I like more than just sitting down at the breakfast table and chatting with the kids and kind of helping them get their day going, because they have their 5-minute routine, 5-minute daily journal that they do. They have their nutrition, which I choose for them, and they don't exactly love that, but they eat what's on their plate. They've learned if they don't get anything to eat. So we've got them trained pretty well there. And then they do a 6-minute workout every morning. So at 8:05, they need to have plates cleaned and all ready to go. So again, part of my routine is their routine. So if they get down to I know I'm such a mean dad, but if they get down to breakfast late, I still tell them it's 8:05. And I've actually set the alarm on their iPad, which will go off today, and we'll just laugh about it. But on a normal day, at 8:05, that alarm goes off, and they need to be in front of me where I have their workout for the day. And again, for them, it's one day's speed workout, one day's a core workout, and the other day's dribbling a basketball workout. I think when I say workout, like I said, it's just 6 minutes of them doing something just to be active, and 6 minutes of them improving themselves a little bit in those physical categories. So 8:05, they're there. At 8:11, and I do set a timer, and they won't do any more than 6 minutes. Like I've got them to agree to 6 minutes. I shouldn't say that. If I asked them to, they would, but for the most part, they're counting down. Their core workout is 3 minutes of work. They switch, it's 3 minutes of work. And they're dribbling, like I said, I make stuff up as I go, but I'm always looking at the clock to make sure I don't go over so that I can keep their attention. Anyways, that's just coaching / parenting, whatever it might be. So then we get off, 8:11. They have a few minutes to play before we have to be out the door at 8:20. Get the kids to school, take care of any of my responsibilities there at school. The goal is to be back here at 9 o'clock. And that, for me, is when I start the business side of my morning routine. First thing, 9 o'clock, when I walk back in after dropping the kids off, my routine is what we're going to work on the next 8-10 days, whatever we have. As far as getting your productivity for your professional side of you. So again, we've been kind of working on the personal side. Now we're moving to that professional side. So step one is to map out your day. Plan all your work and then work your plan, as Napoleon Hill would say. Every time I sit down to think about this, I think about the analogy of a map, an atlas. You remember those? You remember before we had everything we needed right here? Like I love it when I go to rent a car and they're like, "Oh, do you need a GPS?" No, I don't. I've got what I need right here. What else did they ask me? Something else. I'm like, it's all right here. I don't need that stuff anymore. And again, not that I'm a big fan of always having that with me, but for maps, they're really convenient. Turn-by-turn directions. You remember when that first started? Like, there used to be a map that you had to hold, but now they have turn-by-turn directions that just tells you where to go. Those of you that remember, do you remember the atlas? I don't know where you kept it, but it was always in the back behind my mom's seat. In the pocket, right? So my dad had to reach over around, pull it back out, hand it to my mom, and she'd have to open up the atlas to the right state and figure out what the road we were on. Makes me laugh to think about those things back there. Whenever I watch a movie with my oldest daughter where it's old enough that they have phones on the wall, and I'm like, have you ever seen one of those before? That's called a phone. It's attached to the wall, and there's little lines. And anyways, that's just going back in time. But do you remember maps? So when you sat down, or maybe you have to go to AAA, remember that? You get a triptych, and you'd have to plan out your route. So if you're driving from Iowa to California, you've got to plan that whole thing out day by day by day and have this plan and then follow it. And I think about your day of work to be the same way. You've got to be able to block out your schedule. You got to know what you've got to accomplish that day. And again, the nighttime brain dump is a good part of that. Question of the day is, what do you use for your to-do list? Where do you keep tasks and whatnot? And I have two things I use. I use a project management tool called Trello, which I like a lot. I have a lot of boards, one for personal for meal planning, one for the kids' sports, one for, and then one for every project in my business. But I have two things. One is Trello when it finally gets there. Two is that little whiteboard right here. So I have a little whiteboard there with markers. So anytime I'm working and I think of something, instead of putting it somewhere digitally, because I don't know, I don't do very good with those digital notes. I write it up here. Got 5 things on there right now, and I try to cross them off over the course of a day. And if they don't get crossed off, I then put them into Trello so that I know the next day the things I have to do. Anyways, point here is to be, if we go all the way back to launch prep days, which was November and December, we talked about that here on the show. We talked about your goals and breaking that down into smaller tasks. Like if your goal in 6 months is to be here, you've got to take steps all the way along the way. So we should know where those are. So we should be looking at our goals and our tasks every day. And again, my goals are posted right here underneath that to-do list. So you should know what you've got to do. We can go through the quadrant if you wanted to. Actually, it's over there right now. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So I'm talking about. I'm thinking that you know what I'm talking about, but the book is over there right now. But we go through the quadrant as far as urgent and important, all that. But the focus here is to decide what needs to get done today. So based on the to-do list you made yesterday, based on the to-do list you have for those goals you've set aside, you got to decide what's most important, what's urgent. And again, if you've seen the quadrant, you know what I'm talking about. And you've got to block out your schedule and get that stuff on the schedule. Making an appointment with yourself so that no one else takes that time for you. We've talked a lot about not having digital distractions first thing in the morning, because you know that if you check your email, there's 5 things in there that you have to do right now. And those 5 things typically can wait. If you didn't get that email till later, it won't get done. So first thing in the morning is your time to work on the things that are most important to you. We're going to talk about that more in the next couple of days. But that first block of time in the morning should be what's most important to you. When I have clients who, claim they're too busy, they've got all these things going on, and we get them up a little earlier for a morning routine, and they give me that first half an hour to watch some of the videos in my courses or to do some work that I've assigned to them that are going to help improve their business. The only time to do that is first thing in the morning, their first little block, because it's the most important thing for them to grow themselves and to grow their business. So we try to work on that in that first block, before anybody distracts them, before they open their email, before anything else happens, before they start seeing patients. Because if you're trying to see patients, and again, this is probably the toughest part of our business, and something I see all the time when I'm doing on-sites, is someone will go adjust a couple patients, kind of just start getting the flow, and then the schedule's not clustered the way I would like to. That's a professional side we won't really dig into right now. And they go back to their office and they sit down to start a project. And, they just kind of get their bearings on it, get started. Then another patient walks in, so their staff calls them, says, hey, room 1. And then that doctor's sitting there in a predicament. They're like, I want to finish this, but I need to go see that. and they have this little tug of war, and they go see that patient. Again, they're still focused back over here. Then they come back over to the computer, they sit back down again, and now science tells us it takes 8 minutes to get back to where we were. So now you're trying to figure out where you were, and then another patient comes in. It's just that back and forth. We need dedicated time to work on any projects that we have, and then dedicated time to see patients. There's an aside there I won't get into, but that first block of time, you need to get the office. If you have work to do, if you're looking to grow your practice, that work, those projects have to be planned out, blocked in your schedule. Now, could it be later in the day? Sure. If you run into the office at 8:30 and you start seeing patients, but you have a big block from 10 to 11 and you can exit out and take that time to do projects, that's great. Obviously, I have more projects because I'm working here more and doing more coaching. But even in my chiropractic days, and for you and your chiropractic days, you've got to find time in your schedule that you can block out a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and it's dedicated to you to work on your business and work on the things that are most important to you for your own personal growth and for your business growth. I have to remind myself a lot, but I say it to my clients more often. When we have crappy days, those come from us, not to us. All right, that's the energy we're putting out there. That's our lack of focus. That's our lack of discipline. That's our lack of being productive. That's our own energy that attracts those myriad of things that we have to get done today. The people, you might be one of them, that always has something coming up. And that's a choice we make. I know you might think that they're all urgent all the time. But again, if you don't answer those emails and you don't think, the world's not going to end. If you take care of the things that are going to take care of you and take care of your business first, trust me, there will be less of those things. Even though you think every time they come in, you got to deal with them, if you just set those aside for an hour, take care of your business and work on being more productive and taking care of the things that are important and not always urgent, those urgent things will still be there. They will still get done because, again, you think they have to get done. So if you do the important stuff first, the urgent stuff will get done. If you do the urgent stuff first, the important stuff will never get done. But this is a time to plan out your day, plan out your success, do your day mapping, and go through a little mental rehearsal, perhaps, of how you see your day going. Again, we should have done that the night before as well. But now when you sit down to work, is the time to really put stuff in blocks, figure out how your day is going to go, make good choices about when you are going to check your email. And again, that should have been done a long time ago. You should have times that you check your email, 11 a.m., 4 p.m., whatever it might be. And once you're in there, you get it all done, you get it done, and you move on to the next thing. So this is a time to block out those days. I got to make 4 phone calls today. I want to do those all at the same time. So let's do all those at 12:30. I have to call this person too. I forgot about that. Let's put that right in that phone call block. I've got to watch these videos to improve my business, to improve my practice. I need 45 minutes for that. Let's find that and put that in there. And then between, still be able to run your business. So plan your day. Plan your work your plan, and you're going to have a much more productive, successful day as you go along. We're going to get some more clarity about all of that stuff in the next few days. But for right now, I just want you to think about that one process of sitting down before you do anything else and taking your calendar, however you do it, whether it's a calendar on the computer or one of those big desk calendars, whatever it might be, and planning out how your day is going to go from the beginning of work till the end. The projects you need to get done, the things you need to check off your list, get them all done on a piece of paper and into a time block so we get them done. All right? That's your tip for today. I hope you're all having a great morning routine on this snowy for Iowa Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We are going to be discussing, one of my favorites, eliminating the chaos. So some of that urgent stuff we just talked about, that chaos that we have, we're going to show you some ways to I can't say avoid it, pretty much eliminate it altogether. Anyways, you all have a great day today, and I will see you tomorrow.